Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a new episode of EVE Echoes. Tonight on the show, we're going to take a look at the developers' weekly Q&A, which has been released recently, and it covers the week 6-12 of January 2021. So we're going to iterate through these items. Basically, these are the most obvious, the most important items that were picked by the developers and the design team to be answered. But I'm also going to give my impression and the overall feedback, which I think it's really necessary to do. Plus, I have an item of my own that I'm already going to try to bargain for and to ask for more details. I've been asking, but there's no reply yet, and honestly, I don't know what happens. But let's get straight to the point. So, the first question is, add custom targeting ranges for different ships like it's an EVE Online. 1,000 kilometers for all ships takes so much depth out of flight. That is correct, and basically they added, actually they removed the targeting ranges. It basically allowed you to target all over across the grid, just to make it a bit easier, because, you know, EVE Echoes is a game for mobile. It's supposed to be a bit easier than EVE Online. EVE Online is more hardcore. If you want to go for PC, you can try, but either way, I think EVE Echoes, it's its own game, using its own nature of things, and I'm really happy of how EVE Echoes is evolving. Of course, there's bugs and there's kinks and stuff still to fix, still to do, but all in all, I think that I definitely really enjoy playing EVE while doing the dishes, for example. Okay, so the developers actually answered, we removed the discrepancy of targeting ranges for different ships with the purpose of reducing the battle difficulty new players may encounter. Yeah, and we hope our new players can enter and enjoy the game in a faster way. Well, it doesn't provide that much in faster way, as it cuts down on some features that were really interesting, that you could have pulled off with some of the items, like the sensor damper. So you could have used that to basically prevent an enemy from being able to lock you above a specific range, of course, given the strength of your damper. So just having everything targetable in 1,000 kilometers, they basically had to redo the sensor dampener and to remove that targeting range penalty when you activate it on an enemy ship. Just because it was kind of pointless, and they just kept the secondary trait of the sensor dampeners. I don't think this will be revisited. I think this is pretty much it on the targeting range, so it sucks, but it's one less variable to take into account, so it's much more easier to position yourself on the board and to you know, use your arsenal at your own pace. Second question, will you consider adding high-sec, low-sec PVE content that will force players to team up, such as incursions in EVE Online? I liked EE for the PVE content, but I'm currently not playing as soloing. Well, yeah, because the NPCs were pretty much buffed. When introducing new high-sec, low-sec PVE content, we will consider both the solo and fleet modes. The solo part will be in priority, followed by ones designed for fleet. This is not confirmed by any way that we'll get incursions, so don't aim for that, or don't be hopeful for that. There's a lot of way to go until we will get some sort of incursions or stuff like that. But it's interesting that they want to consider both sides. While they will be focusing on solo, as they mentioned, I don't think that the recent NPC updates actually help. I mean, yeah, they pretty much made solo harder, and they kind of forced people to be more efficient by using fleets, but maybe they will introduce like some specific story arcs, some specific missions, or maybe even exploration that you can solo, and you'd like escalating conflicts, stuff like that. Even, I don't know, there's plenty of ways that they can improve the solo PvE content. As in for fleets, this is pretty much a shot in the dark. It's definitely not a confirmation for incursions. Question 3. Can you change the holding counter missions to recognize the delivery holds for the various ships that can do those missions? So this is an interesting point. The answer is pretty much, is basically the above answer copy-pasted. This was an error, most likely. There was an answer, without a doubt, but somehow whoever edited this actually slipped in a mistake. Now, I will try to answer this. So the holding encounters, when they were introduced, which give you, like, I think blueprints and stuff like that, they ask you to haul a big quantity of cubic meters from point A to point B, and it's still pretty easy to allow yourself to get scammed by the system, not by any other players, but by the system itself, because if you accept a mission that you do not have sufficient cargo for, you probably are going to end up doing multiple trips, or if it's just one big cargo, you might end up just not being able to complete the mission, which sucks. The upside for it is the failing or abandoning encounters does not have any impact on your standings or on your, I don't know, your proficiency, or if there was such a system, like if you complete multiple missions consecutively, you will get higher and higher rewards. This could be an interesting idea for the developers to implement. This would be actually nice. So if you just try to grab everything that you can, and of course you can't complete them all, and you have to fail them or abandon them, or they will expire, they will have a negative impact and basically revert to the basic rewards. I don't know. It's just an idea. But yeah, having an indication of if your current ship that you're flying in would fit the holding encounter. Why? Because on the PVE encounters, when you try to accept or you try to do it, you'll see something in red or in green and red, depending on the ship you're in. If you're a tech level 6 ship and you're trying to do a tech level 8 encounter, you'll see the highlighted text in red as a warning. Your ship might be destroyed. You're trying to do something that's way harder than the ship you're flying into. So I think it will definitely help just to have an indication that the cargo that you're about to accept exceeds the maximum cargo delivery hold of your current ship you're supposed to be in a hauler, right? Moving over to the next question. Will neutral null station disappear now that corporation citadels have been introduced? Missing text there, I'm guessing. We've already answered that. If you remember our previous 2 videos ago, we actually clarified the process of NPC stations and what the plan is to do to them. Basically, NPC stations in NPC regions will remain because those are pretty much true NPC stations, while the other NPC stations that are fake NPC stations in the other regions of nullsec that are claimable as in sovereignty, they're pretty much there because developers actually wanted to lay down some scaffoldings for people to start populating nullsec once the game was launched. Otherwise, it would have been a big clutter of pilots inside highsec and lowsec, with no one going to nullsec because there were no stations, and no one could build them yet because no one had enough tech level. There were no one had sufficient materials and all sorts of that stuff. So they opted for this path, and well, they actually said they will not be removing the fake stations now, but they will be removing them in the near future. NPC stations in nullsec areas will remain as NPC territory and will act as neutral nullsec stations for docking. If we remove all the stations before the indomitable sovereignty mechanics are added, I mean, basically every other component for the citadels and all the other the plans, the roadmap that they presented, the flow and the use of player items will be highly affected. Yes, because everyone will need to haul shit, to move shit all over the place. The transfer of items in stations will become a serious problem. Therefore, we will not remove them at this stage. We will keep track of the changes in development of nullsec areas and adjust these accordingly. The last question, will you add a confirmation UI when donating ISK to a corporation? It would be a great addition if somebody changed their mind on donating. Actually, if you click on the donate button, I think it's pretty much the intent of donating. I don't think you can click by mistake. It's pretty obvious where it is, unless you want to see what the button does. But then you get a pop-up, how much money do you want to donate? I mean, there's the pop-up that you have to introduce the sum, that's your confirmation. You can just click cancel there. I don't know, but they said that we will add a confirmation screen when donating ISK to a corporation. Silly as it is, the actual panel that you have to do, you know, the slide, or you have to input the numbers, that's your confirmation. You're basically confirming the sum that you want to give to that corporation to donate. I don't see the point of yet another pop-up from user experience. I'm a developer, I'm a software engineer, and I also take very seriously user experience into consideration. So just having a multitude of pop-ups and overlays and just all sorts of warnings. I understand if there's one warning. I understand if there's one pop-up that shows up and tells you, oh, we are about to do this. But having already 3, you have to go into the wallet, you have to click on the button, then you get a pop-up with actual input, and then you click OK. What other pop-up would you need? I'm just asking. Please leave a comment below if you agree with me, or maybe you disagree with me. I'm highly interested in your opinion on this. I have one more thing to add to these questions. Basically, it's my own question, because I've been trying to push it, but hasn't been selected, unfortunately. I will try to push it every week. They pretty much announced ECM. Now, where is ECM? Because they mentioned that because ECM was the hardest to implement, they will implement it at a later date. Until then, all the ships that used ECM, like the Blackbirds, the Griffins, the Rattlesnake, not the Rattlesnake, the Scorpion, sorry. So all these ships that used ECM have been repurposed temporarily by giving them electronic warfare bonuses for the existing electronic warfare items and modules that have been implemented to this day. As for ECM, things have just been left in the dark. I'm highly interested, when will ECM be introduced? Because ECM is a very important component of fleet warfare, and ECM is life. I used to be an ECM pilot in EVE Online. Yeah, I like my Falcon. So basically, ECM allows you to completely disrupt an enemy ship's targeting capabilities, meaning when the ECM is successful, based on the ECM strength and the ship's sensor strength, you're basically cutting off entire targeting system. Any target that ship might be having locked will drop instantly, and that ship will be jammed for a duration, a specific duration, as specified by the ECM module. Now, when they will introduce ECM, I don't know if they will be introducing the ECCM, which is the countermeasure, which allows you to improve your sensors to prevent your ship from being jammed. This would be very useful in terms of logistics, because in fleet warfare, ECM tends to target logistics. Yep, just so that the logistics ships are unable to repair other ships because they can't target friendlies. So yeah, there's a lot of the mechanics for ECM and ECCM that need to be implemented, even if they will be implemented in steps. I really do think that ECM needs to be inside the game, and soon. So yeah, that was my question. Don't forget about our community question of the week giveaway. And this week's question is, would you like to see more lore events in the game? You can answer with pretty much yes, but I really like and enjoy if you would come up with, like, I don't know, a suggestion. There's a lot of comments already being gathered on this, and I'm very interested to see what kind of ideas you guys might have. Do remember that I regularly collect the comments and the feedback that comes from you guys, and I share them with the developers. Just maybe ideas get picked, because why not have this game get more interesting with ideas from the community. So that's pretty much it for today. Thank you guys for watching. A very big shout out to my channel supporters. I'll see you guys next time. Cheers.